to you. It is time once again for the Champion Brothers, ChampCast, Bubba's Big Broadcast, or
Let's talk some Southern gospel. What do you think?
yes, absolutely. Now, look, we know we started off with our guest already here, but I just told him, I said, you ain't a guest, you're family. So
There
it's the
you go.
Champion Brothers and our brother cousin Scott. So
There you
right over
go.
there. So let me see if I can do this right. See right over up
Other
at the
way.
top
Right
over
away.
that way. Yeah, is Neal, and right there is Scott.
Yeah,
And open
Scott.
the door and see all the people.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute.
Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for having me on again.
Oh,
Oh
yes,
boy,
yes, yes.
yes,
It's a comedy show indeed, if nothing
for
else.
sure.
But we are here to talk once again. It's almost time. It's hard to believe it was,
Can you believe it?
well,
Last
this is
one.
episode 8. So 2 months ago, we started to talk about this, and it is here. Don't mean to cover you up so soon, Scott, but there you
Hey,
go.
I look a lot better this way.
The Dixie Echoes are coming to the Fayette Civic Center this Saturday night, March 18th at 6 p.m. Faithful friends and chosen witness will be there. Won't cost you anything to get in. We will receive an offering during the evening, but just come on and be with us. That's the main thing we want you to do. And had Scoot on with us last week, and he was talking about excited to get to come back to Fayette. They were here a year ago this weekend, and looking forward to having them back with us on this Saturday night, the 18th, day after tomorrow, if you're scoring at home. So,
That's right.
Mm.
Man, you come and you will hear some fine bass singing and some fine tenor singing. Scoot and
yes.
Randy would love that, wouldn't
Hey, they,
Well, everybody's got their favorites. So,
they? For sure. For sure. Might hear something about that Saturday night.
yeah, I figure Randy will have a joke or two along those lines. He
of
just might.
course,
Might.
yes, we
Probably
can't
too.
tell all of his jokes for him, but
Yeah.
ahead of time. But yeah, and I was thinking about it earlier today. I was like, Neal, we're been around this all of our lives, but now Scott is probably the most, I don't know what, highest ranking Southern gospel official in our family
Oh,
these
yes.
days with all of his
Sure.
work with the SGMA and all the, so it's like we've kind of passed the mantle on to him and he's going to take it and run with it. But,
Hey, I'm just a kid in the candy store, glad to be on the bus.
but tell us a little bit about, before we get too off into the Dixie Echoes music that we're going to be talking about tonight and playing, but tell us about your involvement with the SGMA and what all's going on with that.
Yeah, it's amazing what a difference a year can make. It was around this time last year when I started getting pretty deeply involved with the SGMA and volunteered a lot through the year and had a long friendship with Arthur Rice and just he's one of my singing heroes and I always looked up to him and it was about this time last year. Janice and I and Garrett met with Arthur and Tammy and Pigeon Forge and started talking a little bit about desires and things. And make a long story short, worked with him a lot through the years. Represented the SGMA at different venues, and then at the National Quartet Convention at the annual meeting. I was nominated and elected to be on the board on the board of the Southern Gospel Music Association. I'm an advisory board member and just tickled to do that. It means a lot to me. I found myself during that meeting sitting around and looking at the faces in that room, and just like I said, a kid in a candy store because I was surrounded by heroes and folks who's given so much of their lives to the Southern Gospel Music Association. So now, as a board member, I'm still working to try to promote the SGMA. Last year, our big drive was to open up the museum at the end of the 2021 season. Basically, the museum lost its home. Actually, it may have been the end of 2020, but anyway, the SGMA lost their home from a long time being at the Dollywood theme park. It took a while, but they found a home at the Biblical Times Theater. Biblical Times Theater has a dinner show, and it is a gospel-centric dinner show, but they also have a front part of the building that they already had a couple of museums established. So they carved out some space, and we built the counters and the Walk of Fame and all that in there. And at I think it was Tuesday of the National Quartet Convention was actually the ribbon cutting for the Southern Gospel Music Hall of Fame at the Biblical Times Theater. So it's now open, and now all of our membership and our fundraising drives is going to maintain because the ticket price basically is, I guess you would say, goes to the rent to the Biblical Times Theater. So the cost to maintain everything and to keep everything going in the Hall of Fame, and then the cost with electing the new members and all that goes with that is raised through the memberships. So that's our drive now.
And I just put up at the bottom of the screen the information there. But if somebody wants to become involved with the SGMA or support the activities of the SGMA, the information's right there at the bottom of your screen, or you can tell us either one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can go to sgma.org, and there's a link where you can click and join online. Also, I have all the tools needed that I've signed folks off of Facebook Messenger. They send me a messenger message and want to know what they can do, and just a few quick questions. I can have them signed up and have them processed, and it's just $20 a year is the membership fee. So it's not a big costly membership, and we're getting about ready to start sending out the emails for the nomination process for this year's inductees to the Hall of Fame. And all active members of the Southern Gospel Music Association has a chance to elect 2 living names to be nominated to the Hall, and 2 non-living deceased. I don't know what the correct word really to put there is, but those
2
not
live
with us
people
anymore.
and 2 dead people.
Well, yeah, put it out there straight,
Yeah.
brother. That's right. But that's coming up soon. It's still not too late to become a member and participate in that process.
All right. So there you go. There's
Yep.
all the information on that. And I was thinking about it, Neal, when he was talking about being on the board and all that. I mean, have you ever been on a gospel music board before? I've been bored at a gospel music meeting, but I don't know if I've ever been on a board. But
I don't think I have.
so that's all I meant, Scott. It's like you've attained that level that me and Neal never have done before. So
Well,
I think that's pretty cool.
it's a blessing.
Sure.
It's a blessing.
Well, hey, we want to say hey to a couple of folks that's checked in with us right quick and say good evening to everybody. And Joel Bobo's checked in with us, and Megan Edgeworth says hey to Scott, Neal, and Chris. And Johnny Duran says looking good, 3 smiling faces, talking about a great concert coming up Saturday night. Yes, sir, Bob. So looking forward to everybody being with us on Saturday at the Civic Center in Fayette at 6 o'clock. And Neal, you sent me the list a while ago, and I just went hurriedly and put stuff in. I didn't know if there was a recurring theme other than Dixie Echoes, but let's talk
There's
about
really
some
not.
Dixie Echoes since
Yeah,
they're
let's
coming,
do it. Yeah, I thought we'd just play some of the more current things, some of the go way back things, some of the kind of middle of the road things time wise. And yeah, they've put out a lot of great music over the years. Some of these, you may remember, some of these you might have never heard. You never know, but I guarantee every one of them is going to be good.
So the first one you've got up here is I Am the Man.
Let's
Anything
do
you want
it.
to say about that one, or should you jump
No,
right
that's just
into
a
it?
good classic
I need
quartet
you
song.
to talk a little bit about it because, as usual, I've messed something up, and it's going to take me a minute, and I'm going to have to show you my screen for a second and all that. I knew I was running late for some
Just-
other reason. But
A good classic quartet song that they still, I guess the term is they still stage this one. Means they do it live in concert, even today. So you might hear it Saturday night. But one of my favorites that they do now, and it's an old song. It was done way back by a lot of classic quartets. But yeah, let's hear the Dixie Echoes version of I Am the Man.
I am the man, Jonah said when the boat was rolling, rocking. I am the man, running from the Lord. I am the man, Jonah said when the winds began to blow. And pick me up, throw me out. I am the man, running, running, running. I've been running from the Lord. Pick me up, I'm the lane, throw me overboard. The winds will cease, the waves will stop. This old boat won't reel and rock. Pick me up, throw me out, I am the man.
If the Lord should ever lay his mighty hand on you, you You don't have to run and hide like Jonah tried to do. Trouble soon will overtake you if you disobey. You'll be like old Jonah when he had to say, I am the man.
Jonah said when the boat was a-rolling, rocking.
I am the man, running from the Lord. I am the man.
Jonah said when the winds began to blow and
Pick me up, throw me out. I am the man, running, running, running. I've been running from the Lord. Pick me up, I'm to blame. Throw me overboard. The winds will cease, the waves will stop. This old boat won't reel and rock. Pick me up, throw me out. I am the man. I am the man.
Jonah said when the boat was rolling, rocking.
I am the man, running from the Lord. I am the man.
Jonah said when the winds began to blow and
Pick me up, throw me out. I am the man, running, running, running. I've been running from the Lord. Pick me up, I'm to blame. Throw me overboard. The winds will cease, the waves will stop. This old boat won't reel and rock. Pick me up, throw me out. I am the man.
The Dixie Echoes and I Am the Man here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. Look, right there, Scott.
Right there amongst us, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're still doing that. They did, when I saw them, about a month ago?
Yeah.
They did it that night. So
There was some fine bass singing by Mark Cates on that recording, and he'll be, I mean, unless something happens, he'll be right there Saturday night singing bass to you.
scheduled to
Alabama.
be appearing.
That's right. Scheduled to be appearing. That's a good one. Yes, sir.
I'm tickled to.
Go ahead.
I was just say I'm tickled to see Mark back with the guys. Of course, I've loved all the ones that Randy and Scoops put in the group before, but yeah, Mark really adds that depth and it's kind of a good bookend for him. I've seen him a couple of times since he's back, and they are just solid.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Hall of Fame,
Yes.
you know, there just happens to be a Hall of Fame member right there in the Dixie Echoes, Mr. Randy Shelnut himself.
Yep.
And this next song I wanted to share is one from back in the early 90s, one that Randy has the lead on, sings the verses on this one. And I think it is a powerful song. I hadn't heard him do it live in years and years, but what a great song I believe this was. And I really want you to listen and to think about what's being presented, what's being sung in this song, because, you know, that's really the whole reason we do all of this. You know,
Yep.
we ain't got really any more a reason to do it than to share Jesus. And that's what these songs are going to do.
Amen.
And this song is going to put you to thinking if you'll just listen to The Day Will Come.
They didn't call him master, though they knew he was. They didn't call him doctor as they watched him heal. They didn't recognize him as the Son of God. But soon the day will come when they will. The day will come when all will bow before him. You'll hear that he was Lord on every tongue. His enemies will praise his name together. And it won't be long until the day will come. When he walked this earth, some called him Prince of Devils, but the devils knew he was the King of Kings. They took it on themselves to criticize him, but the day will come when his praises they will sing. The day will come when all will bow before him.
Dixie Echoes. It's called The Day Will Come here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. Neal and Chris and Scott are all here, and glad that you're here with us as well on this Thursday evening. Big doings coming up Saturday night at the Fayette Civic Center in Fayette, Alabama. The Dixie Echoes themselves will be with us at 6 o'clock, and hope you will come and tell some folks about it. Maybe if you're into it, just hit the like button or the share button on this video whenever you may be watching it, so folks can hear a little bit more about it and tell us or tell others about it and come and be with us on Saturday night. A couple other hellos right quick. Dave Ezel checking in tonight from over in North Carolina. And let me see here.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
Miss you and think about you every time we sing, Dave.
Yes, sir. Mal Mallory says, good evening, brothers. Glad to have Mal with us tonight. And y'all feel free to make a comment or hit that like button, and we'll say hey to you. We know that a lot of folks see this more after the fact than do when it's live, but we love to visit with you and say hey to you. So if you're dropping by, as a few of you are right now, then just let us know that you're watching and listening tonight.
I happen to know that I think this may be, history may be being made tonight.
How's
because
that?
I think, as far as what I know, the first ever hosted ChampCast watch party is going on tonight at my house. Now,
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
that's okay that I'm doing it myself. That's all right. I mean, I do the show myself, don't I? Yeah, me and Chris.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we got a watch party. I got a living room full up there watching tonight. Of course,
Well, they
Mama's
all-
here watching, and
Awesome.
we've got
You gonna
Raymond.
call a roll?
Raymond and Susan and Hannah Rivers are
Yes.
visiting with us, and they're up there just having a party. Let me tell you, I mean, they're keeping it down. They're not, rattling the office down here or nothing, but of course, Loretta's up there watching, Mama's watching. So I'm declaring it a watch party tonight. So there you go. I just had to call them out. Good friends of ours, and they watch often, but they don't talk on here a whole lot. So we don't talk about them. So I want to make sure I talk about them tonight. So welcome, Rivers.
That's great.
Yes, glad to have y'all with us. The next song you had on the list from the Dixie Echoes goes back a day or 12, called Give Up. Tell me about that one.
Oh yeah, that's one of them good old kind of like a spiritual sound, and I can just imagine. It was done in the day of Dale Sheldon, I believe.
Yeah.
At least I know he sung it. And of course, Randy did it in later years, and they'd really get down on it, put some of that spiritual feeling in it I'm talking about. Now the recording is just pretty much good, straight, solid singing. But I've seen them really get on it before in a concert. But it was just always one of my favorites. So I pulled out one of the I guess the original recording from the Dixie Echoes of this song, I assume at least.
And I noticed in the notes, this song was recorded the same year I got here. So
The year you discovered
That was-
America.
it's
Yes.
at least 56 years old. So
Well, there you go.
I've got one of them late in the year birthdays, but I know that
Right.
I'll be 57 later on this year. Isn't that right? Scott,
You're
a
right.
math guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just got to where I don't care anymore. How old are you? I just stop and think about it and put it out. Anyway, enough of that. Let's play the Dixie Echoes from 1966 off the album called Living by Faith. Here is Give Up.
Give up and let Jesus take over. Give up and let Jesus take over. Give up, let Jesus take over, and He'll make a way for you. Well, if you got mountains that you can't climb, and if you got rivers that you can't cross, well, if you got valleys that you can't span, let Jesus take hold
Jesus, take over. Give up. Let Jesus take over, and He'll make a way for you. Give up. Let Jesus take over. Give up. Let Jesus take over. Give up. Let Jesus take over, and He'll make a way for you.
There's you some good Dixie Echoes music from 1966. It's called Give Up here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. And Scott's joining us tonight. Here, let's uncover Scott. Let me get to the button and uncover him. There you go.
I was hiding.
Yep. And say hey to Boo Shaw. He says, watching and listen. Chris, 56, he's about as old as the bird. Yes, that's true. And if you don't know what we're talking about, go to Billy Shaw's Facebook page and you'll understand what we're talking about the bird. So,
The bird. That was awesome.
an awesome moment that occurred, earlier this week, I think it was, wasn't it, Neal?
It was, sure was.
And, you want to tell it? You can tell the story better than I can if you want to explain what we're talking about.
Well, if we get it kind of concise, our grandmother, our mom's mother, Lucille Wright, was a longtime first grade school teacher at Millport High School. Taught even another, one of those one room kind of schools even before she was at Millport. But she was a longtime first grade teacher at Millport, and she taught Mr. Billy Shaw in the first grade, 50 something years back. And one Christmas, his daddy asked him, did he want to get his teacher something for Christmas? And he did. And they presented our grandmother, which was Nanny to us. They presented her with a figurine of a blue jay perched up on a stump. And my entire life growing up, it was always there at Nanny's house. I mean, I can always remember it sitting there at her house. So, and I never knew, I didn't know where she got it, but it was just one of those things. It was always there at her house. And just in recent months, really come to learn that that's where she got it, is that he gave it to her. And of course, after Nanny moved in with our mom and dad, and then she passed, well, Mom had that figurine. It was sitting right there in her living room by the heater in her living room. And she kept it all those years. And then she just decided that the one that originally gave it to her would probably appreciate it a whole lot more than anybody else could. And she decided she wanted to give it back to Mr. Shaw. Billy Shaw. So here, just earlier this week, she actually presented that to him. And so he now has it. It's made a big full circle now back to him. He gave it to our grandmother when he was in the first grade.
And I was
So that's the bird.
hurriedly trying to get it, and I put it in the wrong folder. So give me a second. So
I actually share a picture of it.
Yes.
Yeah, we went to that much.
I'm almost there.
Yeah, let's just share it and show it.
Let's just show it right quick. But this is the bird that Billy was referring to right there.
That's right. He gave our grandmother 50 some odd years ago, and she kept it, and my mom kept it years, and then my mom has presented it back to him. So there you go.
Yeah. Boo may be squalling like a mashed cat right now.
He's liable to be. That wasn't my intent in telling the story. You put it out there for the Facebook world to see, so I figured I could share it further.
And I wanted to take a left turn and do this because, and Scott, I apologize for covering you up again, but on this Living by Faith album that we just played Give Up off of, there's so many reasons that's on that. And I know the current group put it on the Music and Melody album, their latest album. And so I thought, can we just play that right quick? Okay, let's do. This is, this version, or the later version of the Dixie Echoes, has recorded it before too. So this is at least 3 times that the Dixie Echoes has recorded this song. But this is the latest version off the Music and Melody album, and it's called So Many Reasons.
So
Dixie Echoes and so many reasons here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. Glad to share that one with you tonight. And the Dixie Echoes are coming to the Fayette Civic Center in Fayette, Alabama this Saturday night after next. If you want to look at it that way, at 6 o'clock.
Right after next.
We'll crack the doors open at 5 o'clock for the big rush of folks that's coming in, because that's what we're claiming tonight. So y'all come on and be with us. Don't cost you anything to get in, and just come and have a great time with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. Hey, let's say hey to some more folks. Billy Shaw says the obvious. Y'all ain't right. And in other news, the sun rises in the east. No. Miss Kay Robertson said, so beautiful. Yes, that was good singing right there.
I thought she was talking about me.
Well, no, yeah, okay. And you may know more about this one. Tyler Williams says, hello, Scott Bouldin.
Oh yeah, he's a new USGMA member from up in
Is that
the
Ronnie Henson he's
Hale.
with in his little picture down there?
I believe so. Yeah,
he's at the lighthouse, you know.
Yeah, I heard that. I think that's right. Yeah, Tyler's from up around the Haleyville area.
Well, glad to have you stopping by and joining us tonight.
Scott, I know you're somewhat of I'm not really a Southern gospel historian, but I am interested in learning all I can about the past and about those that paved our way and, before us, and the music we love and all. And especially now that you're around some of the people that you are, this kind of thing. I just wonder if you got any kind of, like Dixie Echoes story or any kind of Dixie Echoes information you might want to share with people that you might have learned or gleaned.
One little tidbit you spoke about the Hall of Fame member. Of course, Randy was inducted about, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. Time flies. But the Dixie Echoes actually have 5. They have, of course, Randy Shellnut and Dale Shellnut, Billy Todd, former bass singer, is in the SGMA. Yeah. Tim Riley, former bass singer with the Dixie Echoes, and Mr. J.G. Whitfield. So 5 Southern Gospel Music Hall of Fame members have come through. I think I remember them all. I think 5 is the right number. But the Dixie Echoes have got a very rich history in Southern Gospel. And it's amazing to see how the tradition has continued for, since the 60s. I guess is when they really came on strong. Right. And here we are 60 years later. And still strong. The Dixie Echoes, sometimes folks may not see them as much on national circuits and some of the big groupings of concerts. But when you put the Dixie Echoes up against any group on the road today, there's no better quartet singing on the road. Just they do it the way it's supposed to be done. The way the founders intended it to be is the way I'd put it.
No doubt. No doubt.
We talked about last week. I remember asking Scoot, I said, have y'all ever recorded a bad song? And, and I wouldn't consider this a bad song, but the Dixie Echoes were known there for a while with doing novelty songs. And
right.
I guess you could put this one into that category. You're not going to replace Just As I Am as the invitation song with this one by any stretch.
Not hardly.
But Neal, tell me about this one that you put on the list, the Singing News Blues.
Yeah, the Singing News Blues. Definitely a kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of song. I mean, Randy, even today in school, they love to make people smile because usually if you're smiling, you're happy, your heart's a little more open to receive. And so that's what this song was, just a song, I think it's Dale Shellnut, Randy's dad, that's singing the majority of it. And he's just it's as if he's a little bit bummed that he's not seeing enough of himself and Dixie Echoes, in the magazine. And he's got several comments to say about it, and they just made them in song. So listen, nobody was mad. Nobody was angry. I don't think anybody got offended. So none of y'all get offended. Smile, because that's what it was intended to make you do, and listen to the Singing News, which is a magazine.
Yeah.
Of Southern Gospel music.
Yeah. So here you go. The Singing News Blues from the Dixie Echoes.
I know you've all heard about a paper called the Singing News, where the stars of gospel music express their views. A man's really something if his picture on the cover they use. Oh, I wish I could read about me in the singing news. Singing news. Singing news. All about the people who sing away your worry and your blues. Subscribe tonight and get your free album too. I'll make sure you don't miss me if I ever make the singing news. Wendy Bagwell saw a rattlesnake, and that made the news. Darrell Stewart pays more for his red socks than he does his shoes. Jack shot a bear and Archie got a tractor too. Oh, I wish I could read about me in the singing news. Now the Goodmans figured there's the biggest group around. But then them old Kingsmen weighed in at 2,095 pounds. I ain't that big, but I won't be pushed around. I'm gonna make that paper if I have to burn my bus to the ground. Singing news, singing news. All about the people who sing away your worry and your blues. Subscribe tonight and get your free album too. I'll make sure you don't miss me if I ever make the singing news. I got the last issue and searched for me. At this rate, old Dale ain't never gonna make history. Frustrated is the word you can use in describing me. You know the only way that I could make it was to send 'em a recipe. Singing news, singing news. All about the people who sing away your worry and your blues. Subscribe tonight and I'll give you a free album too. I'll make sure you don't miss me if I ever make the singing news. I'll make sure you don't miss me if I ever make the singing news. Is there anything about me this month in the singing news, son?
Daddy, I have checked it from page to page. There's nothing on there about you.
Well, I don't know why. I sent Jan Kane 75 pages of wonderful news that I'd done. Why even run around the stage 4 times while the truck wagon gang was singing at Bonifay, Florida?
Daddy, I don't know why you didn't put that in the news.
Well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just don't know what I'm gonna do to make the singing news. Oh, that's some good stuff right there. The Dixie Echoes and the Singing News Blues here on the Champion Brothers broadcast with special guest Scott Bouldin, who stepped out apparently. Or hadn't turned his camera back on, one of the two yet.
I was powdering.
Yeah, there he
I was
is.
powdering my nose.
Okay,
Yeah, there you go.
all right, mighty fine. And yeah, he did talk because back when it started, number one, it started in Pensacola, Florida, where the Dixie Echoes are based out of back then and even now.
Right.
And it was a newspaper for many, many years and then converted to the magazine format that you know today. So there you go. Some odd facts known by few there in the Singing News Blues. Hey, let's say hey to some more folks. Teresa Michelle checks in, and Janice Wilson and Ronald Morton checking in with us tonight. Glad to have y'all with us. And
Awesome.
Mal said Dale Shellnut from Guin, Alabama. Yes, sir. Just up the
really?
road for us. Got a monument right there at the square in downtown that talking about him. And Tyler says, had my picture in the Singing News a few months back. So there you go, Tyler. You ain't got to sing that song. Brother John Killian stopping by says he plans to see us Saturday night. Appreciate you, Brother John, for for joining us tonight and joining us. Well, here's what happened. I looked down, and the next thing was from Jason Bain. So I was trying to say joining and Jason at the same time, and it came out Junnin. But Jason Bain says, evening, fellers. Glad to have y'all with us tonight, too. So appreciate that.
Yeah.
Somebody drive. I'm tired.
I want to just say, bring loads and loads with y'all. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you're gonna miss a great night if you miss this Dixie Echoes concert Saturday night.
Yeah, and to all of our folks that's watching along with us, I've gone to a lot of places, and it seems like there was a couple of years where crowds really started going down with all the stuff that what was going on, and kind of fear factor in there. But crowds are really coming back to the concerts. I know most places that I've been lately have had full houses and everything you see online, and in West Alabama, that is a conversation that I've had so many times with folks reminiscing, and I reminisce about it back in the 1980s when I moved down with, close to you guys, and y'all would take me to so many concerts. I mean, y'all were responsible for getting me in front of a lot of folks that just captured my attention.
You mean around this time?
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, I hate that picture. That's like my least favorite picture ever with the Bama Boys. But anyway, that wasn't nothing but fat face right there. But anyway, gosh, I lost my train of thought. Oh yes, this
West Alabama.
Yeah. So it seemed like back during those days, there was a concert every other weekend. Somebody, Gold City was coming, Kingsmen were coming, Heaven Bound was coming, McCamey's were coming, just inspirations, and just group after group after group after group. And it's like, why does that not happen anymore? Truth be told, people don't show up. I mean, and a lot of the stuff in the churches and all that, and the perfect way to keep this going and to keep and I'm seeing some more churches. I noticed in Lamar County Baptist Association, they put out a newsletter, and there was about 3 concerts listed with groups. The Vaughn family was appearing somewhere. The Kingsmen are coming, and I think in the summer, that's sponsored by one of our churches. So it seems to be coming back, and the way to keep it coming back is to support it and come joining us. We'd love to see somebody come in about 10 minutes late and have to stand up in the back. We'd love
That'd
to see
be
it
nice.
out. Yeah.
And on that note, hey, to our friend Marcus Honnold, he says he's bringing 11 to 15 to the concert Saturday night. So thank you, Marcus. We appreciate
That's what
that.
I'm talking about right there.
That's awesome.
Looking forward to seeing everybody. Looking forward to seeing you. I think Marcus was at all 3, or no, 2 of them that we had last year. So we appreciate
Definitely regular.
that. And speaking of that, in concerts, I don't know if my friend Ray Nelson and his sweet wife, Miss Regina, are watching tonight. And Brother John Killian knows about this as well. But at Concord Baptist down, if you're in Fayette, it's known as the Cotton Mill Road. If you go down there about 13 miles out of Fayette, you'll come smack into Concord Baptist Church. And a week from tomorrow night, the Friday night, the 24th, as I check my calendar, the Perrys are going to be at Concord Baptist. So I wanted to put that out there too. Y'all go see them at Concord if you can on Friday night, the 24th. Just wanted to throw that free plug in for them. So
There you go.
Well, let's get back to the music. We talked about the Dixie Echoes doing novelty songs like the Singing News Blues, but couldn't nobody do a spiritual or a recitation song quite like Dale Shellnut. And you put this one on here, Neal, the story of Brother Eyre.
Yeah. What more can you say other than just listen to the story? Let's just listen to him tell the story, Brother Eyre.
Here's the Dixie Echoes and the story of Brother Eyre.
It was a stylish congregation, and you could tell that they'd been around because they had the biggest pipe organ of any church in town. And over in the corner sits Brother Eyre, and he insisted every Sunday on singing in the choir. Voice was cracked and broken, age had touched his vocal cords, and nearly every Sunday he'd get behind and miss the words and the chords, till at last the storm clouds burst, and the church was told in fine that Brother Eyre must stop his singing, or the choir was going to resign. So the pastor called together a committee, I guess it was 3 or 4, and they got in the big fine cars, and they drove up to Brother Eyre's door. And there they found the choir's great trouble, sitting in the old rocking chair, and the summer's golden sunbeam lay upon his snow-white hair. And said, York, my dear brother, we're here on a vestris approbation to discuss a matter that's affecting the congregation. Now, we understood when we hired the choir that they was to relieve us. In fact, that they was to do the singing for us. We don't want no singing except what we bought. All the new songs are the rage, and the old songs are as naught. Are you listening, Brother Eyre? You must stop your singing. You're messing up the choir. And the old man raised his head in a sign that he did hear, and on his cheek the 3 men caught the glitter of a tear. And with those feeble hands he pushed back those locks as white as silky snow, and he answered the committee in a voice both soft and low. Oh, I wonder if beyond the tide that's breaking at my feet, if yonder in that heavenly mansion where my master I soon shall meet, yes, I wonder if when I try to sing the songs of God upon high, if they'll keep me out up there for singing in the heavenly choir. And the silence filled the little room. The old man bowed his head. The committee went on back to town, but Brother Eyre was dead. The choir missed him for a while, but he was soon forgotten, and a few churchgoers watched the door, but the old man entered no more, because far away his voice is sweet, and he sings his heart's desire, where there'll be no church committees and no fashionable choirs.
Dixie Echoes and the story of Brother Eyre. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Can I get an amen? Certainly seems that way, doesn't it? But yeah, and I misspoke. That was not Dale Shellnut. I think, wasn't that J.G. Whitfield? I think doing that recitation.
Yes.
But I know that he was with the Dixie Echoes when they recorded that album. But yeah, so. See, I never get everything right. So.
And that was in that was in '66, and of course, 15 to 20 years later, the Dixie Melody Boys did a song that was a very similar story, the Antioch Church Choir.
Yep.
Please let me sing in the choir. And the choir interesting of that story is very much the same as the story of Brother Eyre.
So, Scott, we're going to turn the program over to you and let you talk for the next 20 to 25 minutes about church committees. Go ahead.
I didn't know where you were going with that. But I think the best thing to do for
just
the
go check your
longevity of the
Facebook
show
page.
is let's just move along. I don't need to make any new friends tonight.
Oh, Hog's just funning. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. All right. Mighty fine. Well, we got a couple of more songs to play, and it's so fun when you can just do whatever you want to. Isn't it?
You can, yeah.
I mean, if y'all fire me, it's like, okay, y'all know how to do this, and that's fine. I don't care. But let's talk about Saturday night. Let's do that. That's what we mainly wanted to do. We're featuring the Dixie Echoes tonight, and the current version will be with us. Randy and Scoot and Mark and Trenton will be with us at the Fayette Civic Center night after next, Saturday night, March 18th at 6 o'clock. Chosen Witness will sing. Faithful Friends will sing. Neal liable to do some double duty singing. So it's going to be fun. And we want to have you there. That doesn't cost you anything to get in. Don't need any tickets or anything like that. Just come on to the Fayette Civic Center and get there expecting a great time of the Lord. And that's what you'll get. I promise you that. And Dixie Echoes, we've both seen them separately over the last few weeks. Neal and I have, and told us both separately and together as well that they're looking forward to coming back to the Fayette Civic Center. So hope that y'all will be with us too. Let's come a little bit more forward. We've played some, I guess you'd call it classic Dixie Echoes music, but let's come a little bit further forward to today's music and the more recent versions of the Dixie Echoes in a song called God's Not Dead.
Oh, yeah.
You want to just play it, or you want to say anything about it, Neal?
You know, I don't really have any background on it or anything. It's just one that I liked, and hey, what do you say? We can play whatever I want to. So I pulled it as one that I enjoyed and listening, and I have, they've done it in recent years, and let's just share it.
All right, here it comes, the Dixie Echoes and God's Not Dead.
God's not dead, he's still alive. God's not dead, he's still alive. Well, God's not dead, he's still alive. I can feel him in my hands, feel him in my feet. I can feel him all over me. I remember the day when I met him. I remember the day I made the start. I remember the day at an old-fashioned altar he changed this old boy's heart. Well, God's not dead, he's still alive. God's not dead, he's still alive. God's not dead, he's still alive. I can feel him in my hands, feel him in my feet. I can feel him all over me. Well, there's no need to tell me he's not living. There's no need to weave this evil spell. I just talked this morning to a great and higher power. He says he is alive and well. I tell you, God's not dead, he's still alive. God's not dead, he's still alive. God's not dead, he's still alive. I can feel him in my hands, feel him in my feet. I can feel him all over me. God's not dead, he's still alive. God's not dead, he's still alive. God's not dead, he's still alive. I can feel him in my hands, feel him in my feet. I can feel him all over me. Well, I can feel him on the land, feel him on the sea. I can feel him all over me.
Dixie Echoes and God's Not Dead here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. Neal and Chris and Scott are all here. That's not in order, but it's Neal and Scott and Chris if you're going from left to right. But,
yeah.
Good stuff.
Let's just
Dixie Echoes.
Let's mess that up too, but put me in the middle. Let me cover myself up just a minute. Can you do that? Have you got that kind of power? Oh, look at there. Look at there. I didn't say anything earlier about this particular album cover. This, first of all, what an interesting title. One Mind and Many Chords. I like that as a title of a project that we played one earlier from. But I want you to look at that young Scoot Shellnut sitting right down there in the front, boy.
Yeah.
Man, what was he? 12 years old or something? I don't know.
I wonder if his coat was too big or too little, and that's why he just put it over his leg.
Yeah, I wonder for sure. Man alive. I wonder, I'm going to try to remember and ask him say tonight. I think maybe he just started with the group as a musician, I believe, maybe as a drummer.
Yeah.
So
playing
probably
the
wasn't
bass
singing.
guitar. No. he
Oh,
started
bass
on the
guitar?
bass,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I had to just call that out now. I mean, that young Scoot Shellnut. And then if you look at this other one that we played from, I mean, that's a mighty young Randy Shellnut sitting right there. And did y'all catch on that song when Randy come in there and said, "Now, Daddy, so and so"? Did you hear how young Randy sounded? His speaking voice, I couldn't get over that.
Yeah.
But hey, these guys go a long ways back. That was my whole point, and they are still rolling. Randy and Scoot, Randy Jr., who I think will one day be a Hall of Fame member himself, and
hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe me and you need to head up that campaign maybe from now until he goes in. But anyway, we'll talk later.
Scoot for the hall.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But what an opportunity is for people in and around Fayette, Alabama. And even if you want to drive a long ways to here, what an opportunity it is to come and see these guys in person and hear the ministry that they carry around the country and share. And get to talk to them, and you know they'll just stand over to the side and talk to you like like he's in their house last week. I mean, that's one of the things I love about them. They're so genuine. And so, yeah, just come on out and support this music, support this group. Support bringing more of this kind of music to the area, to Fayette, Alabama.
I'm calling out Robert Bradford. I don't know if he's watching now or then or what, but I hope they'll come.
Maybe
they
so.
live up your old stomping grounds, Scott. And
yeah, they're in Empire, not far from Hayden, and I know they did make it to the Endless Highway concert back in November, so maybe so.
Yeah,
that'd
be good.
Look at this. Scoot Shellnut joins and says, "I don't have enough home runs for that."
Man, he don't have much to be doing tonight, does he? If he's over here listening to this,
either, but but he showed up every day.
Yeah, for sure.
And look at this. Mal says, "Y'all need to get all white suits like the Inspirations had on Sunday night." Let me think about that a minute, Mal. Nope.
Boy, it'd be like a big old cloud sitting up there talking, singing to you.
I didn't cost you any extra, but I just thought I'd share. No.
I might jump on to all black, but let's not go all white.
Yeah. I'm too scared. I told you why when we started. I wore my spaghetti on my shirt and I had no change. I'd be dangerous if I tried to do a white suit. Absolutely. So
good night.
Well, you had one more song on your list, Neal, and I kind of did a switch them up because it's the same song, but it's the current group's version of it because it's on Music and Melody as well.
Do it.
And called "I'll Shake the Hand of the Lord Someday." Anything you want to say about that, or you just want to dive in?
Just dive in, man. Just share.
All right.
Good
Here's
music.
the Dixie Echoes. You might even hear them sing this on Saturday night. And I'll shake the hand of the Lord someday.
I'll shake the hand of the Lord someday. I'll shake the hand of the Lord someday. On the street of purest gold, hear the half that's never been told. I'll shake the hand of the Lord someday. The gates of that fair city someday will open wide, and all of my friends and loved ones will be waiting on the other side. With a shout of joy I'll greet them, I'll gladly shake each hand. My heart's gonna bubble over when I shake the Master's hand.
I'll shake the hand of the Lord someday. I'll shake the hand of the Lord someday. On the street of purest gold, hear the half that's never been told. I'll shake the hand of the Lord someday.
I'll see my friends and loved ones when the gates swing open wide. I know they'll be there waiting to welcome me by their side. They'll lead me through that city, I'll see its wonders grand. With shout of jubilation, I'll shake the Master's hand. I'll shake the hand of the Lord someday. I'll shake the hand of the Lord someday. On the street of purest gold, hear the hat that's never been told. I'll shake the hand of the Lord someday. I'll shake the hand of the Lord someday.
Dixie Echoes, and I'll shake the hand of the Lord someday here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. Scott's joining us tonight. We're just having a big old family get together here tonight.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all coming by and stopping in and visiting with us. Let me check all the comments. Jill and Chuck Crow has checked in with us. Glad to have y'all with us tonight. And looking forward to Saturday night with the Dixie Echoes at the Fayette Civic Center in Fayette, Alabama, 6 o'clock. If you're not familiar with Fayette, it's right there on the main drag through downtown Fayette. Can't miss it. And just look for if you're on the 4-lane, look for the big digital sign out front and just take a left there right past it. And if you're going north, if you're going south, take a right, obviously. But come on and be with us at 6 o'clock on Saturday night, March 18th. Don't cost you anything to get in. Y'all just bring a load with you. Come on, just sit a spell and enjoy some fine music. Gospel music, quartet music from the Dixie Echoes. Chosen Witness will be singing and Faithful Friends will be singing too, but we want to see you there.
Just can't believe it's been a year. I mean, I can just
yeah.
Anticipation for last year when we kind of started having these events there again at Fayette, and Dixie Echoes were there, and then just decided to, hey, let's just make that annual thing. It seemed like a long time ago then, but now it seems like last week. Here we are. Let's have them again.
Yep.
I was thinking, you mentioned Robert Bradford earlier, and I've been talking a little bit back with Evan and Avery, his two children. They're, let's see, Evan's about 18, Avery's in her young 20s, and kind of got a few ideas, working on getting some more youth involved in Southern Gospel. But, thinking about the crowd coming, and I don't know what kind of audience we have watching this. I used to be the kid. I used to be the youngin'. And now that's not longer so. I'm one of the angry old men that get off my lawn, guys. But, there's a stigma, and I've seen it in a lot of churches. I've seen it in just, as far as this music only being for the snow caps, the folks with gray in the hair, or white in the hair, or blue in the hair, whatever. Anyway, it's not so,
No.
I've noticed at NQC, I noticed at the quartet show, I've noticed at the Mark Trammell Homecoming, and so many different places. More and more young folks seem to be coming, and here's my challenge to any grandparent or parent out there: bring your youngins. I have never seen or met a young person who Southern Gospel music was presented to in a non-biased, positive way and get the exposure to that they didn't love it. I mean, the talent, the entertainment, the showmanship, and then the gospel, and the word tells us the gospel draws. So I just encourage you to bring your young folks. I mean, talked about Avery and Evan. My son Garrett, he's 19 now. He went with me the other day to see the Trammell Quartet and Mylan Hayes family, and just eats it up, So I encourage you, we'll leave the youngins at home. They won't like this. Please bring the kids, bring the children, bring the young folks, because we want to expose more and more and keep the generations coming in Southern Gospel music.
And piggybacking off of that, Eli was privileged to get to be a part of the Alabama All-State Choir. They did 3 different choirs, and their concert was last Saturday, and sat in the area with the director for Fayette's choir, Kevin, and we were walking out with him, and I told him, I said, because you heard, it was mostly, high-class music is what I call it.
Right.
A lot of foreign language stuff, a lot of, very intricate harmonies, a lot of, 1640s type music and that kind of stuff. But the song that got the biggest response of the day from one of the choirs was a song that sounded like a gospel song, a Southern gospel song even. And I told him, I said, I'd be remiss as a quartet guy to point out that the song that got the biggest response was a Southern gospel sounding song. So, and it was at the concert hall at the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center, and the vast majority of the lower level and right in front of the stage was about anywhere from 200 to 400 high school kids that were in these different choirs. They'd shuffle in and out.
And I mean, they just, just the longest ovation and the most yelling and hollering and all that. I was like,
That's
well,
great.
that's cool. So yeah, that kind of goes to the point that you were talking about, Scott. If you present it to them, they'll like it.
That's right.
Or act like they do anyway.
That's right. That's right.
But let me see here. I got to check on this because I know a lot of folks is watching round ball instead of us tonight, and they're going to watch this later. But
I'm scared to
Auburn's
look.
up by 6 with about 3 minutes to go. So I knew Scott would have a passing interest in that, and I didn't know if you was watching it or not. But I've got it on over here, and I've been peeking at it some off and on. But
No, I actually the thing is, I don't know if y'all do. I do brackets. We do brackets every year, and like after the first 2 games, I was 0-2. So I'm like, seriously, I mean, mine's just absolutely dusted. But the cool thing is, and I've got an idea on this. My wife Janice never really watches much sport. She watched Garrett when he played, but Garrett and I got her to fill out a bracket.
yeah,
And she is like texting me away, like, hey, so and so's up by this, and hey, so and so's behind, and all this kind of stuff. So, my idea is if I can create a bracket at NQC this year, something involving the groups, we can have some kind of bracket, then that may get her to come and hang out for all 7 days.
There you
What
go.
do y'all think? Think that'll work?
It just might do it, but with one word of warning.
What's that?
Several years back, I got my wife interested in a thing called fantasy football.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the idea was, hey, if I get her interested in it, she'll want to watch it football with me, maybe. Well, she's won the doggone league 3 times, I believe. So be careful.
Oh, there is a lot.
Yes, she likes to watch it with me now. So
Yeah.
it worked.
there you go. Yeah.
There's a lot of trash talk going on. Mama's done told G and me that she's going to whip us. I mean, she's in it to win it, like Bennett.
There you go.
And full disclosure, going back to the Auburn thing, I'm a cord cutter and was streaming it on the YouTube TV and just realized when Mal put up that it was like 22 seconds left, I was like, oh my goodness, I was way behind. So yeah, it's actually 82-73 Auburn with 17.6 seconds left to go now. So
Maybe it's the haze in the barn then.
and I want to say, hey, Dustin Big Worm Nichols reacted. So good to see you, and I appreciate everything that you're doing for the kingdom these days. Appreciate that a whole bunch. Now back to the sports stuff, right quick. Scoot says she cheats big time. So,
Referring to my wife in fantasy football.
Well,
if we be real quiet, and Neil, you be real quiet too, and turn your mic up, we could hear Loretta hollering at the TV right now.
You probably can.
the detriment to the Penguins was when Peyton retired. That did have an effect on the team.
Oh,
It
yes.
did. It did.
That and well, you can't call it the disabled list anymore, but the injured list.
Yeah.
All right, enough of that. We got off
all
on a
right.
rabbit hunt, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get
It's
on
my
that,
fault.
but-
My
but
fault.
That's all right.
Wrap it up and say this: y'all come to the Fayette Civic Center.
Yes.
Please join
Saturday
us.
night, this Saturday night, the 18th at 6 o'clock. Chosen Witness, Faithful Friends will sing some to kick it off, and then we'll turn it over to the Dixie Echoes, and they're going to present the word to you, and with some incredible music and some incredible singing, and appreciate that so much. And if you would come and be with us and bring some folks with you, like I said, like Scott said, bring some youngins with you too, and we'd appreciate that a whole bunch. So there's the information right there. That I was searching for the address in my brain a while ago, and I was like, I wonder what the section of your brain that used to remember addresses and phone numbers does now. So since nobody remembers them anymore, you just look it up on your phone. But 534 Temple Avenue in downtown Fayette. It's right next to the Fayette First Baptist Church. If you find that, you'll find the Civic Center. And hopefully you'll find a bunch of cars, but just come on in. There's easy access. Yes, you do have to climb some stairs, but there is access. If you don't want to climb any stairs to get you in and get you into the auditorium there, and so don't worry about that. We'll get you in if you'll just come be with us. So.
For sure.
Boys, that's about all I got. Y'all got anything else? We've gone
Mine's
over
clear.
an hour, so we fit our quota for tonight. So.
There you go. There you go.
But
I
y'all please
appreciate-
come and be with us Saturday night. Scott, appreciate you, love you. Neil, appreciate you, love you, and I hope that y'all will be with us Saturday night. Anything else, boys?
Appreciate y'all having me on. I know where I'd rather be than with you guys. Appreciate y'all.
And Neal, we hadn't talked about it. Are we going to do a wrap-up show next week, or we'll take just tune in next week? We might be here, we might not. But
Why,
whenever we
yeah.
come back, you know what? We'll be here then. So
That's right. We'll be here when we come back. That's right. Because there's going to be another singing in July.
Yeah,
that we'll be talking
that's
a lot
right.
about. So there
Yes,
we go.
sirree. So y'all have a wonderful evening. Come be with us Saturday night if you can. Good night and God bless everybody.